This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Go to nordvpn.org/pitchingcase88 and use code pitchingcase88 to get 75% off a 3-year plan and an extra month for free. Protect yourself online today. Alright folks, Keith from pitchingcase88 and we are back. And today I'm going to be talking about the heavily suggested Fortnite versus Apex Legends situation that's been going on for these past few weeks. So let me give you guys a rundown of what's been happening recently. So Origin released a new game called Apex Legends. It's a battle royale game where teams of 3 go against 19 other teams of 3 in order to see who will be the Apex champions. It's actually a really good game, and I've been having a lot of fun playing it. Now the situation is quite simple. Apex Legends has been blowing up out of proportions as of recently, having 25 million players in its first week of launch, and it has been the most viewed game on Twitch for weeks now, and it's actually been crushing Fortnite. This has gotten a lot of people questioning, is Apex Legends the Fortnite killer? Is this the game that's finally going to shut Fortnite down forever? And today, I'm going to be giving my take on that, answering the question and a little bit more as to how both Apex and Fortnite can improve. So let's start by answering the question, is Apex Legends going to kill Fortnite? I don't think so. Now don't get me wrong, I love both Apex and Fortnite. I think they're both amazing games, but I just don't think that Apex Legends is going to kill Fortnite. And I think the same way the other way around. I don't think that Fortnite is going to kill Apex Legends. I think if anything is going to kill Fortnite, it's going to be Fortnite itself. While no game is perfect, Fortnite has just been having a couple of too many problems, and a lot of people saying that Season 7 was by far its worst season. And a lot of people even suggesting that every season just keeps making the game worse and worse with additions that nobody asked for. A couple of examples would be the turrets, the planes, the zipline bugs, the hand cannons being way overpowered, and even the new biome. A lot of people really dislike the winter biome and say that it's a little bit laggier, and some people just think it's not a good addition to the game and that we should be bringing back Greasy Grove and all of these other places. Now, I think Fortnite might have finally gotten a little bit scared of the competition from Apex and decided that in the 7.40 update it would be making a ton of changes, and 7.40 update was by far the best update from all of Season 7, getting, rid of a couple of things, adding some things. The zip lines were finally fixed. Planes were no longer able to just crash through buildings. The deagles were nerfed a little bit. Rocket launchers were nerfed a little bit. Zip lines were finally fixed. And I think for Fortnite, that is a step in the right direction that they really, really needed. But is it enough? Maybe enough for now, but not forever. Fortnite is a constantly evolving game, and it's not gonna last forever by just changing the meta every single day. I think Fortnite needs to stop worrying about changing the map as if it's crucial to the game's, sort of newer and older sort of things. I think that a lot of people really liked, things like Seasons 3 and 4 because whilst they were different in the smaller ways, they weren't changing the entire map or changing the entire meta of the game. And also just a couple of things that I think, once again, should still be removed. I think that the turret that is on planes should be removed entirely. Planes should be nothing more than transportation purposes. The turrets are just completely useless. The only reason that people hold them now is to just knock people's stairs that they place in their own 1x1s, which is just such a bad use for turrets. They just need to be gotten rid of entirely. I don't really like the new bottle rockets. I think they're quite useless in the game. Nobody uses them. And if they do use them, it's only because that was like the first thing that they were able to grab and somebody was already shooting at them. Tifu complained about this a little bit too, but I don't like the infantry rifle. I don't think it should be vaulted. I think we kind of need that common, uncommon, and rare sort of alternative AR weapon that you just kind of have to get a bunch. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like it can be improved upon. So those are just some things that I think are still problems with the game of Fortnite. And, Apex, whilst having, some tiny problems, it's not the end of the world. So that's just my basic rundown of a lot of the problems that Fortnite kind of has. And I think that they can be fixed, but, I haven't even gotten to the two biggest problems, which I will get to in a second. But, I think that if Apex Legends does surpass Fortnite, it's not going to necessarily kill Fortnite, just kind of dance on its grave. I think that Fortnite is gonna be here to stay, just maybe not as as big of a game as Apex Legends, and I don't think it's gonna hold that legacy of, you know, this biggest battle royale game for much longer. But that out of the way, let me talk about the two biggest things that need to change in Fortnite and need to change ASAP, or Fortnite is really going to see a huge downfall. Those two things are ranked and RNG. Now, like I said, these are personal opinions, but I personally feel that the ranked mode needs to be in default playlists and needs to be in the game now. To anybody who's played Fortnite, you know they've been sprinkled in, you know, the pop-up cups and tournaments and events like that, but it just needs to be in the game for a normal default playlist permanently, because people really hate having to go against somebody else who has, you know, a 4.5 KD when they're at like a 1.2 KD and knowing for a fact that they're already going to lose. There's just such a huge gap between skill levels in, you know, these normal matches. If Fortnite doesn't get ranked matches when it's default playlist, people are just gonna get bored of going against people who are 10 times better than them and will not improve because of that. I say it myself, I would love to be going against players my KD, my level, and you know, I would love for the rank stats to be based more on, you know, the number of wins you have, the average amount of kills that you get per game, you know, stats like that, instead of it just being completely random to who I'm going against. And one of the biggest problems in Fortnite for streamers, and really big streamers, you know, like the Tim the Tatmans, Dr. Lupos, Ninjas, Daquans, Myths, is stream sniping. If ranked were added into the game, stream sniping would be so much harder because you'd have to be on their level. You'd actually have to be as good as those players in order to even get in their games. And speaking of random, that brings me to my second point. RNG. Ah yes, random number generator. Now the big problem with Fortnite that I don't think is really all that fixable is endgames with RNG. Now let's take a situation here. Let's say that you have this really nice 1x1 base, you have tons of mats, you're in a good spot, but you don't have any sort of transportation. You have no gliders, you have no balloons, you have no riftigos, you have no launch pads, you are stuck where you are, and if the circle moves you out, you have to move with the circle. You have to go all the way down from your, you know, your 1x1 or your base. And let's say you have an opponent with that exact situation. You know, it's a 1v1, you're both in the circle, and then the next circle clicks up. You two aren't really being too aggressive to each other, but your opponent is in the circle and you are not. And your opponent has a very comfy spot in the circle and you have to move all the way to him in order to even stay out of the circle, stay out of the storm. This is a death sentence. 99% of the time, you are going to lose and they are going to win, all because they had the advantage of luck. And that's something that Apex Legends just doesn't have because there is no building. You know, at endgames, it is still 100% skill. You know, as long as you have the weapons and you have good health and you have your teammates still alive, then basically, you know, you still have the same advantage. You still have the same ability to win against somebody else's same team with the exact same perks. That is just a matter of skill, you know, aim, hitting your bullets and everything like that. Whereas in Fortnite, that building is just such a problem, you know, because building, like, they can just completely block you out. They can shoot you down. You can try to build and keep high ground, but it's so difficult because they're just going to shoot out, you know, wherever you're trying to build from, and you'll probably just die to fall damage because you didn't have any gliders. Now, like I said, I don't know much on how to fix this. I mean, the simplest thing would be just make the circles less RNG based to the point where, you know, if there's two people left and they're both in circle, make the circle move so neither of them have the circle advantage and they both have to move. Even if one has more of the circle than the other, it's still fair because both of them have to move out of the circle. But those are the two biggest things that I see in Fortnite that really need to improve if they want to keep their game going as well as it is. And I think if they don't, then over time people will just move to other games like Apex Legends and any future games that might come out to challenge Fortnite. But like I said, that's just my take on it. I want to know your guys' opinions. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the situation. You know, are you on Team Fortnite, Team Apex? Do you like both games? Do you like one more than the other? What do you guys think? And also, what would you guys like to see more on the channel? Would you guys like to see more Fortnite content? Would you guys like to see more Apex content? I would love to do whatever you guys would like. And with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and also make sure you're using supporter code pitchingace88 in the item shop, because if I keep doing Fortnite, it sincerely helps out the channel, and we got special perks on our Discord for anybody that uses it. And before I go, I'd like to talk really quick about something that's very important to me involving cybersecurity. I had a very unfortunate scene of events as of recently. What happened was my emails ended up getting hacked, and I still had access to them, but somebody else also had access to my emails and everything that was connected to them. And that included some payment information, and I ended up losing a bit of money because they were able to hack one or two of my credit cards and even my PayPal account. And that got me really concerned about my personal security, and I almost lost over like $500 worth of my own money. But luckily I was able to get it all resolved, but that made me realize the bigger situation, which is I needed a VPN. And luckily, I got in contact with NordVPN, who has been nice enough to sponsor this video. Now, looking through all different types of VPNs, NordVPN seemed to be the one that stood out as it was not only the best, but kind of the easiest one to set up. You can run over 6 simultaneous connections, 24/7 customer support, 5,000 servers in 62 different countries, and you can even try it risk-free for 30 days or your money back. Now, you might be asking, what do VPNs do? VPNs are meant to make sure that your data is not accessible to anyone outside of the devices that are connected with the VPN, and you are protected no matter where you go. So even if you're sitting comfortably at home or you're all the way across the other side of the world, you will be protected 24/7. And the best part, NordVPN has a huge deal for the criminal aces. All you guys have to do is go to nordvpn.org/pitchingace88, and you can use code pitchingace88 in checkout to get 75% off your first 3-year plan and an extra month for free. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. It's Keith from pitchingace88, over and out.